know, all of these people at ESPN, all of these old guard WNBA loyalists, all of these racial idolizers, these people drive me nuts. They drive me nuts. The hypocrisy is absolutely ridiculous at this point.
ESPN analyst Chiney Ogwumike's recent appearance on Angel Reese's podcast is stirring up serious backlash. Just months ago, Chiney called Caitlin Clark the Needle, a bold statement acknowledging Clark's massive influence on the game. But during her sit-down with Reese, she took a sharp turn, looking Angel in the eye and saying, "We got you." This sudden shift left fans stunned. What once sounded like clear praise for Clark has now turned into a complete pivot, raising questions about consistency and authenticity in sports commentary. Fans across social media are calling it out, labeling the moment as one of the most obvious examples of flip-flopping in recent coverage, and they're not holding back.
The contradiction wasn't lost on anyone. It felt more like a performance than punditry, another staged moment in a league obsessed with optics over honesty. The public reaction said it all. That phrase, "we got you," would have detonated the internet if a white ESPN analyst had said it to Clark.
In this video, we're going to unpack everything, what was said, the full context behind it, and why this controversy actually matters. Just listen to this moment. "I want you to know that we stand for you." That's what Chiney Ogwumike told Angel Reese face-to-face. But here's the issue. Just a few months ago, Chiney was on ESPN sounding like Caitlin Clark's biggest advocate. She was fired up, crystal clear, and genuinely passionate, calling Clark the key reason for the explosive growth in women's basketball. The contrast between those two moments isn't just surprising. It's raising real questions about authenticity in sports media.
Well, I want you to know that we stand for you.
Thank you.
Sis.
Now jump to Angel Reese's podcast, and Chiney Ogwumike's message takes a sharp turn. Suddenly, it's all about "we got you" and "we stand for you," aimed right at Angel. The difference is obvious. When Caitlin Clark's name comes up, Chiney's whole vibe shifts. Her smile fades a bit, she sits up straighter, and her words start coming out slower, like she's choosing them extra carefully. It doesn't feel natural, and fans have definitely noticed.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates.
What really sets people off is that vague line about some people not standing for you. Who is she even talking about? That's the issue. It's classic media strategy. Throw a little shade, stir the pot, but don't actually name anyone. It's the kind of veiled comment meant to spark division without taking full responsibility.
Fans, they're not to be played with.
Thank you.
We do, and we know you carry a lot of weight and you represent so much, but we love what you have brought to the game, and I feel like a lot of people on the outside are saying, "Oh, this person gets the credit, that person's for us." We got you, period, period. And after LSU.
What Caitlin Clark has achieved on the court is already historic, but what she's doing off the court is just as incredible. She and the Indiana Fever were responsible for a staggering 45% of all WNBA broadcast value last season. That's nearly half the league's media impact, tied to one player and her team.
What she's done on the floor is history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season.
When Chiney had to mention Caitlin Clark's league-leading jersey sales, you could literally see the discomfort. Her shoulders stiffened, her smile locked up, and she moved on like she was dodging someone she didn't want to see at a party. Here's the thing. Chiney is a respected ESPN analyst. Her job is to give fair, consistent takes on the game. But when her message changes based on who she's sitting next to, it raises serious questions. One moment, Clark is the needle moving the whole league. The next, Reese is the misunderstood underdog. That kind of flip-flopping doesn't build trust. It breaks it.
Chiney Ogwumike is the person that gives Caitlin Clark the credit. Chiney Ogwumike is the person that says Caitlin Clark is the needle. Caitlin Clark is the person that says a lot of people say Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. Caitlin Clark is the needle. And then face to face with Angel Reese, she folds like a lawn chair. In front of Angel Reese, she folds like this table that I have my setup on. In front of Angel Reese, she folds miserably because these athletes are so sensitive, you can't tell them the truth to their face.
This kind of flip-flopping is exactly what's broken in today's sports media. Chiney seems to want it both ways. Credit for recognizing Caitlin Clark's game-changing impact and clout for aligning with Angel Reese's cool circle when it's convenient, but here's the reality. In this digital era, nothing disappears. Every interview, every comment, every moment is saved, shared, and replayed. The inconsistency isn't just noticeable, it's undeniable. And fans are watching closely.
But also the analysts like Chiney Ogwumike are such cowards, are such hypocrites, are so lost in their own delusions that they think people forget what they said not even a few months ago. These people can't keep a consistent story.
This situation exposes the behind-the-scenes politics in women's basketball. There's this unspoken pressure to choose sides in the Clark versus Reese debate. But shouldn't professional analysts rise above the drama and give credit where it's due without shifting allegiances based on who's in the room? Imagine being Clark, watching a podcast where someone who once supported you is now backing your rival. This behavior only creates unnecessary tension when the real focus should be on growing women's basketball together.
There are people on the outside say, oh, this person gets the credit, oh, that person gets the credit, but for us, sis, we got you.
If the roles were reversed, the basketball world would absolutely explode. Imagine if a white ESPN analyst sat down with Caitlin Clark on a podcast and said, "We got you," like Chiney did with Angel Reese. Social media would go into overdrive, careers would be on the line, and public apologies would be demanded. But when it happens to Clark, it's brushed off as business as usual. This double standard works like a game where the referees change the rules based on which player has the ball, and it's actively holding women's basketball back from reaching its full potential.
The media's double standard was on full display, painting one narrative for Reese and another for Clark. It's no longer about analysis or basketball. It's about who belongs in which media-protected circle and who doesn't. And Clark, despite her generational skill, clearly isn't considered part of that inner circle.
The numbers speak for themselves, and no media spin can change that. Thanks to Caitlin Clark's presence, the Indiana Fever accounted for an incredible 45% of the WNBA's broadcast value last season. This is a documented fact that shows how Clark's impact directly translates into more money and attention. When she steps on the court, ratings soar compared to games without her. Yet, instead of celebrating this unprecedented growth, there's a strange resistance to acknowledging her achievements. The moment she accomplishes something remarkable, the conversation quickly shifts as if recognizing her success somehow diminishes the rest of the league. It's a baffling zero-sum mentality that goes against basic business sense.
There's a growing frustration among fans who see a league more interested in maintaining in-group alliances than embracing transformative talent. When Clark shines, the praise is diluted or deflected. When she leads the league in metrics, there's a convenient silence. If she wins a championship, it's already anticipated that her contribution will be minimized.
That's right. Merchandise sales have skyrocketed by 500% since Caitlin Clark entered the league. This surge has benefited every player and team, leading to increased revenue, larger marketing budgets, and greater visibility. Venues where Clark plays have seen a major boost in ticket sales, bringing more energy, sponsorship opportunities, and momentum to a league that's long fought for mainstream attention. And Chiney Ogwumike knows this all too well.
She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
Acknowledging these clear metrics has somehow become a politically charged issue within WNBA circles. What's especially frustrating is how the coverage plays out. When Angel Reese does something notable, it's hailed as revolutionary. But when Caitlin Clark breaks records, it's briefly mentioned before the conversation shifts. There's an unspoken rule that you can't praise Clark without immediately balancing it with praise for someone else, a rule that doesn't seem to apply to any other player.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, seems to be the media's pet project. Despite inconsistent performances, she's been elevated as a face of the league. The numbers tell a different story. On court efficiency is lacking, and even her trading cards aren't worth much. Yet, the media hype machine continues, pumping her up as if she's rewriting history, when in truth, she's struggling to finish layups. It's not hate, it's just reality, and the media's effort to shield her from it is becoming laughable.
Regular basketball fans with no stake in the politics can clearly see the double standard. They notice when achievements are downplayed or when narratives are twisted. The current climate sends a troubling message. Even if you bring millions of new fans and elevate the league's commercial appeal, you may still not be fully accepted. Clark has helped transform and expand the house of women's basketball, Yet she's treated like a guest who should just be grateful to be there.
For some, it feels like the only option for Clark to get her due recognition is to take her talents abroad, where the politics won't outweigh her performance. Meanwhile, players like Kelsey Mitchell are breaking the mold with honest reflections and courageous loyalty. Mitchell recently explained her decision to return to Indiana, saying that after losing her father, she needed to go where you're loved, not just tolerated. It was a heartfelt moment of clarity that resonated with thousands.
Amid all the double standards and political games, Kelsey Mitchell stands out as the authentic voice that women's basketball needs. When the podcast conversation began to take an awkward turn, Mitchell didn't hesitate to steer it back to the truth everyone already knew: Caitlin Clark's undeniable impact on the game. In a room where acknowledging Clark's contributions felt almost off-limits, Mitchell's honest recognition of Clark's ability to attract more attention was like the jolt of honesty cutting through the tension.